Hello and welcome to my nightmare, aka also known as the Olympic Club outside of Daly City, more more or less San Francisco, and the challenges I'm going to face while trying to recreate the lake course at the Olympic Club. Some of the challenges will be not able to recreate all this cute little stuff in here, all the tennis courts, the parking lots, the exact Olympic Club itself. I've stepped foot on the property, but unfortunately, there's no way I can do this in the game. Even if I tried, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to spend that much time into it. Anyway, this is just to kind of give those that are interested a look as to some of the things I will be able to accomplish, some of the things I won't be. More or less it's for my own purposes so I don't have to keep jumping into Google Earth to figure out what I want to do. For a point of reference, I can just kip up my cell phone and I'll be able to look at YouTube, and or I can pull up my little notepad and do the same. I don't have to be utilizing the same computer. So I may put in this little practice hole on the other side of the first hole. I've done some checking of the altitudes, and the highest point I could find was about 233, 235 feet of the fairway. So knowing that, armed with that information, I had to go back into my course after I did my other video of raising it. Well, I raised it up another couple of meters, like about 16. So now I can go back in and redo all my terrain. You can see that this has a drop off. Everything slopes. Once it comes across down about the midpoint and starts its descent, like from 230 down to approximately 40 feet lower. And my green's about 195. You'll get the idea. And even this drops out another 10 feet. Everything just slopes off. We stay pretty level over here. It actually looks at this point, I'm going to be doing a little more elevation changes on this side of the course. Skyline to Highway 35. The practice facility, Fort Funston, big hang glide, cliff hang glidings area. I don't know what these pictures are all about. But you can see that it's kind of crazy. Anybody that's ever been over here knows it's beautiful most of the time. Like I said, I used to fly my RC gliders down in this area and back up over in here, just because you get some great slope action, great lift. the bad things about it is you do got to compete with the hang gliders, and some of my RC gliders get flying pretty fast. But we're not here to talk about RC gliders or Fort Funkston or anything else. If you ever get out to this area though, definitely take a ride out here and check it out. Anyway, I think this is John Muir Highway here as you come through the back side of the Olympic Club. The entrance off of 35 into the Olympic Club. This runs down along the Gray Highway. The beach runs all the way down to the Cliff House, Seal Rocks. A tourist trap, but it is a fun place to go. This is a kind of a neat little tourist trap. If you've never been in there, it's okay, but once you've been in there once, that's all you need to see. It gives you a close look of Seal Rocks. And then, as I zoom out here, the Farallon Islands. But I digress. Point Reyes. The movie The Fog was made out here. This long lighthouse that hangs out here, the infamous steps. Adrienne Barbeau used to think she was sitting back in here mining this lighthouse. It's a long hike down these stairs. Great little place to come out. But anyway, it's an old thriller movie. We've definitely lost where I was at. Come back over here to the Olympic Village, Olympic Park, and the Olympic Club. Okay, so let's take a look. Things and other things I think I can't reproduce is I will never, ever, ever, ever be able to get the ocean. It's not going to happen. Another reason I'm doing this is I get a chance to see approximately the trees. This fairway was approximately 30 yards wide. It drops down, according to this, about 40 feet, which would be another 10 yards. I'm going to probably not be able to do that exactly. I'll probably have a bigger drop off. So I guess you guys can complain, or someone will be able to complain, oh, it's not the exact thing. Well, it's not going to be able to be the exact thing. I wish I can get the views that this course has to offer. It's just not going to be possible. I won't get this view, for instance. I won't be able to get the Marin Highlands, Mount Tamalpais. I will try to simulate the brush. Note to self, it's actually almost the same height on the other side of this little hill. If that is a hill, it actually looks like a side of the hill. It's actually higher than first hole. Now that I'm looking at it. Okay. But it still comes downhill too. So anyways, I won't get that cute little view. Second hole is an interesting hole on the side. It's all slopes. Right to left, uphill. Starts off about 30 yards and narrows out into about 20, and then even gets narrow as it comes into the green. Pretty open. Couple small trees. 5 sand traps protecting the crazy green up here. The 2 front side. This one looks like it's going to be a real pain in the butt just because it's going to make it tough. Then you got this bunker here, and the one up underneath the tree. Most of the trees are pine, juniper, Monterey. I won't be able to get all of the right pine trees in there. The practice screen in the back side of 2 with a sand trap. I may or may not simulate that. Number 3 is a downhill 200 yarder. Oops. I wish I could do a better job of what I'm trying to do here. I'm not having much luck this morning. It's definitely not cooperating with me. Yes, I can't go zooming in like I wanted to. I'll have to stay out a little bit. So this downhill sloper, another couple nice little bunkers in here. Again, you can see the elevation changes I'm going to be dealing with. That's why I had to keep laying it up. Everything from the top of 1 down. Okay. From 3, we come over to hole number 4. The tee box. Definitely been raised up. You can see that it is a little more cropping. Number 4, banks, dog leg to the left. Goes downhill, then a slight uphill. Fairly generous green. I've had conflicting pictures of how the different cuts go, so it's going to make it interesting. Speaking of why, on here, this actually, one of my pictures I had showed this to be pretty much the fairway here. It opened up into like a light rough. Then it come back to fairway in here with light rough around. But because I'm the designer, I'm going to get to use my personal wannabe artistic values to it. I will try to make it look like what I see. It can't be 100%, but it will represent Okay, so back over here to the fifth hole. Tee box is way back. Now down around 96 feet as we come closer into Lake Merced. Lake Merced itself, according to Google Earth, is like 15 feet above sea level. And now, great. Back to the fifth hole. Follow it around. I think I'm on the fifth hole. Let me see. Did I lose myself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'll come back out on the cart path over to the sixth hole. Sixth hole has a narrow chute. Nice little fairway bunker. Nice little downhiller. Everything descends downhill after you leave the first hole. A little opened up. Comes back over here on the other side of the sixth. This is the seventh. I have no idea what that is going to be. Can't always trust Google Earth, but it's better than most other things I get to play with. The seventh hole. Then the nasty little eighth hole over here, which is also another long. Oh, look at these pretty people down here. Long uphill. Into the clubhouse. Trying to get that slope and angle is going to be fun. I don't have any palm trees in the theme I'm using, so I won't be able to emulate that. Again, I will try to do my best to make it look close, but it's just not going to be possible. Okay, from the eighth hole. Now you would think it would be running ninth hole would be running into, but it doesn't. This is the starting of the ninth hole here. Another chute. Oh no! Gosh, I hate this. Ninth hole. More bunkers. I'm gonna have fun with tree work. 10th hole. Come back here. Run down. Almost into the lower elevations, getting close to the lake. And this green is 66 feet. So we're only about 45 feet above the lake now. That's the 10th green, coming to the 11th tee box. Another dog leg. More fun with bunkers and heavily treed. So the 10th. I say that was the 10th, wasn't it? 9th, 10th, that was the 11th. Excuse me. The 12th is over here. 11, 12. 12 is going to be a fun little call, especially when the tees are way back here. Excuse me. Another nasty little chute type of thing with trees everywhere bordering. I am very tempted not to use a lot of light rough, because this is going to be a U.S. Open type of course. It's going to be tough. I might use an off fairway. These bunkers, nasty, nasty, nasty. I may make this like the end of the fairway and use light rough up around here to come into the green. I don't know yet. I'm debating on how I'm going to attempt some of this stuff. I will play several times, check it out, and go from there. Okay, the 13th, it's a par 3. A nice tree-lined par 3. But we're now running along the lake. Again, John Muir Road, it runs along the side. This par 3 is going to be fun. I'm going to have to do something with the trees. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it's going to be interesting. The AutoGen trees trick isn't going to work for everything. It'll do good for fill-in, but it's not going to do me good on the course. I might have to do all my planning like I normally do. Not a biggie. As you run off of the 13th, you come into the 14th. The 14th, we're getting down to almost sea level. Again, 45 feet in elevation. Heavily tree-lined chute to come through to an opened up fairway. Dog legs to the left. Slightly downhill as we get into an approach. A couple of these greens are tiered. I have to do a little more reading. I remember being 2-tiered, 3-tiered, some severe front to back slopes, all sorts of different slopes and stuff like that. I will try to do my best to get them what they're supposed to be, but there's no guarantees. This green is now down another 10 feet. So, there's 14. 15, again, runs right alongside. looks like there's a little canal or something that runs down in through the side there. Irrigation ditch or something along that line, separating that from John Muir. Anyway, another tree-lined hole. It's not really heavily tree-lined, but the tree will get in the way. Interesting bunkerage. A little bailout, not much. This kind of looks like light roughing through here. I'm not really sure how I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to assume this is fairway. Protected by heavy rough almost all around into here. Or maybe they have just heavy rough around this bunker and this bunker, so that might be light rough around the outside of it. Which would be okay, but even the light rough is like heavy rough in this game in the US Open environment. Okay, over here is the infamous 16th hole. 16th hole is the longest in US Open history. Well, it was. I don't know if they've made anything longer, but it's a 670-yard hole. Over here is the Olympic Village, and there are two little practice holes. I may or may not include them into the game. They have no place for it, but they are visible from the 15th. I don't know if I have in my current layout room to include these two holes. I definitely can't simulate the village. Anyway, back to 16. It's a long sweeping dogleg to the left. Elevation seems to be right around 65 feet. The tee box is a little bit higher. Yeah, actually tee box is lower, according to this. Again, can you trust it? I don't know. But a nice, long, sweeping. Par 5. All 670 yards of it. Nice green to work with. This view, it kind of looks like we have a split fairway coming around either side of that nasty bunker there. Two nasty bunkers on a long par 5 on top of that to make that approach shot just a little more tough. 17th tee box here. This other side over in here is the sea, the ocean course. Pay no attention to it. I may try to imitate it, but I can't really do a good job on it. Why? I don't have any roads, so I might have to use my own creativity on how to best simulate that. It's really too bad because this area is just so pristine and beautiful, and you just can't not enjoy it. It'll take away from the view. Anyway, back to the 17th hole, which runs in towards the tennis courts and such like that. Heavily bunkered. We start to climb elevation back up. We gain 87 feet here. Oh, I'll probably be teeing back here. We're gonna gain, what did I say? Basically 85 feet. So as the time you get into the green area, which is a little bit elevated. Ooh, look at the lip on that. That's gonna be fun. Time you get up to the green, we're talking 136. So 50, 60, 20 yards up. And into the signature hole, the 18th. Well, if I ever get cart pass, then I can worry about stairs. But here's the tee box. Get out of that stupid view. Yeah, dang it. Alright. Oh, I lost my tee box. Trying to do a video and go through the course is rather interesting. Okay, so here we start off with like 114 feet. It stays about 114 till you get to about the starting of the fairway. Then it starts dropping off. And it rolls down about halfway into the fairway. So at the halfway point it gets down to about 95 feet. What's this picture look like? Interesting view of what I won't be able to simulate. As we come into a heavily bunkered 18th hole. You know I'm going to have to make that lip right. It's going to have to look just like that. Not. But it is going to be a nasty bunker, obviously. What a tough finishing hole. Uphill. Definitely going to have a false front. But it should be a very interesting hole. And that is the 18th of the Olympic Club.